Alright, so we're going to do a run video. Not this one. This is a 144010. These are not track cars. These are pretty much dirt cars, so I'm not going to try to attempt this on the track. I've built one very similar in KV and pinion size, and it's really not a track car. It needs at least a 17 tooth. You can run a 19, but it has a little bit too much torque because they're steel gears. So the 17 tooth steel or brass would be the better way to go for a track car, and pretty much any motor from there. The 19 is a little bit too heavy and too tall for track driving. And then we have the 18. This is a 184016. This one just came out like last week, I think it was. So this one, from reviews that I've seen, goes about 43 miles an hour. And this one goes right around the same, so they're pretty equal, pretty close in speed. So we're gonna see how this one drives on the track. So that's my first run. I've had to, at this point now, I had to put shock oil in. They were completely dry, not even a single drip of any kind of liquid. So I did 40 in the front and rear, and the reason why I did 40 is because it's such a smaller chamber that 40 is not going to feel like a 40 in a thicker chamber shock. So 40 in front, 40 in rear. We're going to test it out, see if it feels alright. Might have to go a little bit lighter in the rear, but we'll see. The only thing I noticed other than that would be the steering link. The steering is a little bit off, so I'm hoping that I could fix that also. Other than that, everything else looks good. Looks like a pretty decent car. Just basically looks like a miniature WL. So let's give it a track run and see what it drives like on the track. So let's turn you on. Let's turn you on. Take this off. Alright, so in order to get to the switch, I have to take out the front clip. I'm not running the stock battery. I'm actually running what is it, a 1560C Havo. I try to say it, but so this is what I noticed about this car, and I'm not sure this is going to be a good track car either, but one of the things I always want to test right away is how much of a throttle dead zone there is. So that's a pretty decent dead zone right there. So that could be changed through the ESC. We probably want to change the I think it's the last one. I'm not sure what it is. It's from light, medium, and strong. What that does, that decreases the amount of dead zone in your trigger pull. So we're gonna go test that. See if we could change that. I'm not even sure if I have the right program card, but we'll try. But one of the things I also noticed is how long it takes for it to get to top speed. So it almost has like a turbo delay into it. So I'm not sure how it's going to drive on the track. We will find out. Yeah, that's what I thought. It's going to be really, really torquey. So WL is not my favorite car on the track. These things are pretty much dirt cars. They're bashers. I'm sure they can be tuned for track driving, but they're not out of the box a track driving car. So alright, so that's going to be the issue. I could tell already is that it's not going to keep wheel speed, so I have to find a spot where I can actually keep the trigger pulled. It's twitchy. So it looks like it's set up for dirt in the camber, front and rear, and you can tell it has way too much grip for track driving right now. Another thing that sucks about WLs is they don't have dual rates. They definitely need to have a dual rate. God, this car is hard to control. Yeah, these WLs, they need to have dual rates for steering. That way you can control the actual throw of the steer. I wheelied. Okay, so one of the reasons why I think it's driving like this right now is because I think it's a little bit too high. So I might need to set the droop screws so it's not traction rolling on every single thing that I do. Man, this is hard to drive. Alright, so I need to test the brakes out too to see how it actually performs in that straightaway. I hit the brakes, but it really didn't do much, so something happened with the steering. Let's fix that. Destroy that window. Yeah, alright, so when you have this much grip with a zero offset, this is pretty much like a dirt setup. So what needs to happen is the camber needs to be changed in the rear so it's not so grippy around turns, and it also needs to be lowered just a little bit. So I'm going to give it a couple more runs first, and then I'm going to try to lower it. If I lower it, then I'll be able to keep the... Jesus, man. Steering's gone off twice now. So I think I'm impressed what this car is for the size, for the build. I'm not impressed with the way that it's set up to drive though. I'm sure this is pretty much a dirt basher, but most of my other cars drive well on the track and in dirt. So it's got to be versatile. It can't just be something that's only designed for one thing. And if that's the case, then you're spending $140, $150 on something that it's very very selective of where you can drive it. So it flies good. Man. Alright, let's stop this. I'm going to lower the car and see if we can get any better driving ability out of it. One thing I noticed too is the springs are a stiffer spring, so that's another reason why I was allowed to run a 40 weight. So with the stiffer spring, you're not going to be able to lower the car much, so I think the only option we have for lowering it would be to move the shock tower location on the ball joints. Jeez, man. Alright, so it doesn't have much brakes for the carpet. It might have better brakes everywhere else, but for the carpet they're not instant, so I gotta brake earlier. Yeah, I gotta brake a lot earlier. So I can give it full throttle all the way back, and then I have to start braking about here because the brakes are not they're not a strong brake. A little bit of cogging, not that big of a deal. It's because I'm trying to pull the trigger so lightly. This is just in a stock form right now. Obviously I have a lot of plans for this little thing, so we're going to make this very equivalent to an LC of some sort. Alright, so there's my first issue I noticed, is that the brakes are not great. So that was my front end lifting up. Oh jeez. There goes my wing and mount. Jeez. Alright, so my wing's done pretty much, and looks like I'm having a loose... No, we're still good, just a wing. Alright, so our wing is getting destroyed already from that. That was my fault though. I can definitely tell this is a dirt car. There's no question about it. So trying to drive this on the track right now, I'm getting frustrated. But I think a lot of it has to do with the setup. So let me try to tune this. Yeah, so the only thing I could do is actually change the whole location here, and in the rear. Nope, can't even do the rear. Wow. I have no options for changing droop screws. Yep, we could run droop screws. Okay, so we're gonna do that. We're gonna add some droop screws in here and see if we could lower this car down a little bit. All right.